Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another video. Welcome to the channel. Now, Elie Mystal had some serious strong words for the Constitution. He said the American Constitution is trash, and he had some fixes for the Constitution. So I want to do a bit of reaction because while he was on The View, he was regurgitating some ridiculous and outlandish claims about the Constitution, and I just wanted to do a quick reaction to it. So let's just dive right into it. But as we do, please don't forget to smash that like button down below because it's massively important to the video, and I sincerely do appreciate it. Now, without further ado, let's get it. Now, shall we?
Some will say, okay, so are you arguing for throwing out the Constitution? Should the Constitution be thrown out? What do we do? Is it a living document? Or is it a sacred document?
It's certainly not sacred, all right? Let's start there. The Constitution is kind of trash. Now, let's just talk as adults for a second.
What did you say? It's what?
It's kind of trash.
Trash.
It was written by...
Wow, seems like Joy Behar was taken by that statement now, wasn't she?
Slavers and colonists and white people who were willing to make deals with slavers and colonists.
So his basic reason for saying that the Constitution is trash is that it was made by slavers and colonists and white people who were willing to make deals with slavers and colonists. That's tantamount to saying that he graduated from Harvard. Harvard was founded by slavers and colonists in 1636. So basically, if he's saying the Constitution is trash, it means that Harvard is trash, and it means he immediately should give away his degree because his degree is trash.
They didn't ask anybody who looked like me what they thought about the Constitution. They didn't say, oh, Jim, come over here. What do you think about this old Constitution? Well, massa, I sure don't like how you sell my children. But I gotta say, man, this King George, he needs to be stopped.
Now, that's a straw man argument. Still doesn't make the Constitution trash. Just because you didn't ask black people or women or whatever about the Constitution, it doesn't make it trash. He's not actually attacking the Constitution. He's attacking the man. So he's making a straw man argument for why the Constitution is trash, which doesn't make any sense at all.
My grandpappy used to say, ain't no taxation without representation for massa. Like, that's not what happened,
Okay.
Right? This document was written without the consent of black and brown people in this country and without the consent of women in this country.
Yes, but they made provision for amendment. So what's your complaint? What's your complaint exactly? I really don't get it.
And I say if that is the starting point, the very least we can do is ignore what those slavers and colonists and misogynists thought and interpret the Constitution in a way that makes sense for our modern world.
All right, you guys. So unlike what Elie Mystal and many other Democrats have been trying to convince people that women and black people had nothing to do with the present day Constitution, as he said that it should be interpreted to present day. Well, in 1878, two women by the name of Susan B. Anthony as well as Elizabeth Cady Stanton got together to fight for women's rights to vote. And at the end of the day, in the early 1900s, this was part of the amendment. It is called the 19th Amendment of the Constitution, which actually protects women's rights to vote. So women have contributed to the same Constitution that he's saying they should trash. Him saying that women didn't contribute is shitting on the legacy of those two women who actually fought for women's right to vote, amongst many other women who actually helped to pass this bill in the Senate. Now, when you're also talking about whether black people had any contribution in this, also, he's saying that black people never had anything to do with the Constitution. Well, there is the 24th Amendment that was actually effected as a result of the Civil Rights Movement of 1963. We're talking about the Diane Nashes of this world, Ella Bakers of this world, the John Lewises of this world. We're talking about Martin Luther Kings of this world, amongst many other, Bob Moses and many other black people, men and women who got together and fought for the 24th Amendment of the Constitution. These people made sure that black people and other people of color could vote, and that has been secured till this day. Even though the Democrats is trying to convince people that some other parties are trying to impinge on your rights to vote. It's impossible. It's sacred. It's in the Constitution. And there's nothing new that this guy wants to bring to the Constitution, literally, that can help change the Constitution for the better. But anyway, let's keep listening to what he had to say about the Constitution and his own fixes for the Constitution. Okay, so this is where he has some suggestions for, rewriting or rewrite parts of the Constitution that he has just said it's trash. Like everything about the Constitution is trash. But now he said I can rewrite parts of it. So there are some parts that are not trash, that were still written by those slavers and, those colonists. So put that in mind.
Right? Like, how about popular election for the president? people vote, not land.
That's not
same
even
thing.
in there, is it?
I'm saying
Yeah,
if I was
Same thing.
rewriting it, we could do it in a tweet, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Term limits for Supreme Court justices. And how about no states' rights when it comes to healthcare, elections, policing, and guns?
Right.
It's just better.
All right, so he mentioned three things there. First of all, he said popular election for the presidency and not land. So what he means by not land is basically saying that the states shouldn't have power over elections. The elections should just be popular, not states. Now, unbeknownst to many people, America is not a democratic state. America is a republic state, pretty much like Nigeria, I suppose, where each state counts for one vote. Now, the reason why the founding fathers did that is so that states that have smaller number of people can have as much voice as states with larger number of people. We all know that the four largest states in America, they have millions of people, close to between 20 to 30 million people. We're talking about California, Texas, Florida, and New York. And if you were to do popular votes, states like Alaska, states like Wyoming, states like the state of Columbia or something like that, many of the states that are down, that are less than 1 million people, they will have no voice. Their vote will not count towards making a change at all, because there are such few people that this country or these other states outnumber them by 30 to 1 or 20 to 1. It doesn't really make any sense to make it a popular vote, because those smaller states will have no voice. And if they have no voice, it's going to be discouraging for them to go out and actually vote. So big states will be determining it. For the last couple of decades, he knows that for the last couple of decades, maybe 4 decades now or so, the Democrats have been winning popular election. The Republicans have been winning pretty much the Electoral College. And a lot of people make this argument that, you shouldn't use the Electoral College, they should use popular votes. But the thing is, if you do, those smaller states will have no voice. That's why the founding fathers made America a republic rather than making it a democratic state. So that just goes to show you that these people really don't care about the smaller people. They just care about power, power, power. Next, it talks about Supreme Court justice limit. Now, I'm totally against it, because Supreme Court justices are not voted in, they are appointees. And when it comes to appointees, you can be there for as long as you possibly can, because it's an appointed position. It's not a position where somebody is voted in. Now, he wants Supreme Court's term limits because he's assuming that if popular votes start to count, Democrats will consistently win. As you well know, in America, according to Gallup poll, 31% of Americans identify as Democrats, while 25% identify as Republicans, 41% identify as independent. Now, if you take a look at the elections, we know Democrats have been consistently winning. So he assumes that if that holds, then the president will always be able to change the justice once their term is done. And if Democrats continue to win, Democrats will continue to change every justice, into a democratic justice. They'll be able to appoint them into democratic justice. And at the end of the day, you are going to have 9 Democratic Supreme Court justice judges, 0 Republicans. That's what he wants. These are all recipes for what? For an authoritarian government. Lastly, he says that he wants no more states' rights for things like healthcare. Already, healthcare is being run by federal government. So I don't know why he threw that in there. I think it's ignorant on his part. And I know a lot of people out there are ignorant and they will clap for him. Woohoo! Woohoo! Federal rights on these things, but you don't know what you are signing away. He also said he doesn't want state rights on voting. He wants voting to be controlled by federal government. This is something that the Democratic Party wants, to control voting rights by federal government. Now, the founding fathers made sure that the states control the voting system. Why? Because it stops widespread fraud. This is the only way you can stop widespread fraud. This is the reason why I didn't push for the idea of widespread fraud when Trump lost the election. And this is how people should actually reason. The founding fathers were smart. If federal government controls the election federally, they will be able to actually conduct widespread fraud without anybody asking any question. He also said that federal government should control policing, and federal government should also control gun laws. So definitely, federal government will be able to take away your guns. You don't have any protection. So there goes the Second Amendment. Federal government will be able to take care of your voting rights. So they will remain in position consistently. Federal government will be able to take care of policing. So they will police your behind. You cannot voice at all against the police. So there goes your First Amendment right because you can't peacefully protest. You know, there are some countries like recently, some certain truckers convoy. You saw what happened to them in Canada. That's exactly what he wants. Those sort of authoritarian powers for the government, and not any government, not just any government, specifically the Democratic, the DNC government. That's what he's advocating for. That's why people are clapping for him. Every single thing he said to me is dumb and nonsensical. But yeah, this is exactly what he came here for, to come and shield for the Democratic Party. His book is shielding for the Democratic Party and nothing else. And I find it very hilarious that this guy is getting so much voice. He's been on ABC, MSNBC, he's been on so many of these liberal outlets. And actually, I think he's threatening to replace the #1 race baiter at the moment, who happens to be Ibram X. Kendi, at the rates that he's going, and he probably might. But anyways, you guys, this is what I think about this whole thing. It's actually bull crap, and this guy is definitely the #1 BS guy. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please do smash that like icon down below. It's massively important to this video and all the other icons as well. And I'll be catching you guys on the next one. Now, until the next time that I see you again, take care, peace, and Sayas out of here. Bye-bye now.